Okay, I was not ready for this at all. We have a new iPad mini 7 and this is my completely off-the-cuff reaction to this massive news. I genuinely haven't prepared for... Okay, we have prepared a little bit for this, which I'll show you in a second, but in terms of my reaction to this iPad mini 7 news, it's very hot off the press. I'm recording this at 7:40 p.m. on Tuesday the 15th of October, which is when Apple dropped this news. It's a press release, it's an updated website on apple.com about the new iPad mini. So to put some context around this is the iPad mini 6. It's been around since 2021. I love it. It's the one iPad that has survived in this studio for the longest amount of time. I use it every single day, mainly for these videos, so it sits out of view just down there, and I basically use it for reading from notes for the video and stuff like that. I do take notes with it occasionally, handwritten notes, and it's just brilliant. I underuse it these days, to be fair, but 2021, that was a little while ago, we need a new one, and I've made so many videos about this. Thank you if you've watched them. Now obviously I will be getting an iPad mini 7 next week to review, so if you've got any specific questions, put them in the comments and make sure you hit that subscribe button not to miss that video. We did a little bit of research into the channel recently, and it turns out that 87% of the people who watch this channel regularly aren't subscribed. So if you're not subscribed and you do watch this channel and you enjoy it, just give it a little click, please. It makes a massive difference and it means we can get more tech in front of you quicker, basically. So thank you. I've got the iPad mini, the new iPad mini website open here, and I roughly know what's happened, but let's just go through it together and let's try and figure out what this new thing's all about. So, hello Apple Intelligence. Immediately, it's pretty clear that this is the Apple Intelligence iPad mini update. That is the first thing we see along with the iPad mini, which looks identical. I mean, this is just a thing on the display. Apple Intelligence clearly is the big play here. A17 Pro chip. So the A17 Pro is what is in the iPhone 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Very powerful chip, that's nice, and obviously it supports Apple Intelligence, so that makes a huge amount of sense that they've put it into here. Apple Pencil Pro. Okay, so the Apple, I haven't got it to hand unfortunately, but the Apple Pencil Pro, which came out with the iPad Pro launch, the M4 iPad Pro launch earlier this year. It looks like the new iPad mini is compatible with that. That's great. It will be interesting to see if it's compatible with any other Apple Pencils. Is it just the Pro? Can you use the USB-C? I assume you can use the USB-C one, for instance. But I'm guessing you can't use the Apple Pencil 2. Can you? I assume it has, because well, I don't know. They've changed the magnets for the Pro, the Apple Pencil Pro. 4 gorgeous colours and single-handedly awesome. It is, to be fair. I mean, this is the only iPad that you can do that with. You can't pick up any, you can't do that with the iPad Pro. You can't do it with the iPad Air. That is the only iPad that you can use one-handed, which makes it incredibly handy for all sorts of things, particularly in businesses where, and we've heard this before from Apple, where it's used in aviation, it's used in very important jobs where they need these kind of notebook-sized things that you can just hold like that. From £499, okay. That's still iPad mini money, isn't it? They haven't reduced the price. First things first, Apple Intelligence, if you buy this now, you won't get it in the UK in terms of Apple Intelligence until December. You can, I think, have the US version, the US English version of Apple Intelligence before then, in October, but if you want the proper UK edition of Apple Intelligence, we do have to wait until December. It's frustrating, but we have no choice, and I guess if you buy an iPad mini now, it's going to be ready for that in December, so that's one thing. So the big thing that a lot of you guys want to know, I know this, and I do as well, is the display different? Is it a better display than what we have on here? Because one of the things that a lot of you talk about, it's never bothered me, to be completely honest with you, is jelly scroll, which is impossible to demonstrate on here. But basically, if you have some text open like that and do this, it kind of goes like that. It doesn't make any difference to anything, but I understand that it annoys some people. So the first question, has Jelly Scroll gone? I have no idea until I get one in my hands, obviously. And the big question is it any different? You know, do we get ProMotion? I know you don't get ProMotion because I've looked through some of these specs already. You do. Here's one I made earlier. There's no ProMotion, we know that. I don't know if it's the exact same display that we have in here, but it's not ProMotion, so that there's no 120 hertz refresh rate. How do I feel about that? Again, until I get it in my hands, I don't know. It's just going to be the same display. And if I ask myself honestly, have I missed ProMotion on this iPad over the last, since 2021? No, because I don't really use it in a way that kind of makes a difference with ProMotion. Should it have ProMotion? I think for 499 quid, arguably, yes. The design is the same, I think. Again, when I've got it, I'll compare the two, but I think it's the same dimensions, etc. Okay, 4 new colours. We have space grey, I guess, starlight, purple, and I think it's blue. Apple Intelligence. I can't really talk about Apple Intelligence. Just to bring you up to speed on this, I haven't used Apple Intelligence at all. The idea of having Apple Intelligence on this kind of sized iPad is exciting if Apple Intelligence lives up to expectations. That is the key thing. Siri is the big thing. Siri has to be good. The new Siri has to be much better than what we have. Sorry. Okay, the A17 Pro chip. Now, this is apparently up to 30% faster than the previous version of the iPad mini, this one here, and for the CPU, and for the GPU, up to 25% faster graphics. A fair chunk of extra performance there, which we do expect, 2021 to 2024. I know we're getting last year's iPhone Pro and Pro Max chip, but these chips are so far ahead. So, okay, you get ray tracing. If you play games, that's going to be great, I suppose. Apple Pencil Pro is very good. Key thing with the Apple Pencil Pro, and I think the kind of crowning glory of that accessory is the squeezy haptic thing, where you squeeze it and it feels like you're kind of pressing a button, because it kind of it gives you a little click to signify that you've squeezed it enough to do something. And it's incredibly hard to explain, as you can tell. They haven't given us a mini Magic Keyboard. You can get a folio for this, a matching coloured folio for your iPad mini 7. This is the 6, sorry, but the iPad mini 7, you can get a matching folio for it. Great, but I just wanted a mini Magic Keyboard. I really wanted one. Then they go on to talk about Logic Pro. Logic Pro on the iPad mini. I hadn't thought about that. That's going to be interesting. I'm massively into my music and music production, and I'm also starting a music production thing in this studio, so that could be very interesting. Super fast 5G connectivity, so it's got better 5G built in, useful if you go for the cellular version, obviously, and 2 times faster Wi-Fi than the previous generation. The camera system, it's not clear if it's the exact same camera as the one that we have in the iPad mini 6. Again, I'll find out when we get it in our hands. What they have done, they've delivered improved document scanning. So the document scanning feature on the iPad Pro, that is now available on the iPad mini 7. This is the iPad mini, this isn't the new one. The iPad mini 7 has document scanning. That's useful. The other thing that we've done, the other thing that the team has done for me, because they're brilliant, is they've put together a very quick comparison between the iPad mini 7 and the iPad mini 6. Now, this is all taken from publicly available information, so it should be correct, and it's been taken from the Apple website, but you never know. Sometimes things are mistyped and stuff. So if we get anything wrong in here, it's no one's fault. We've had to work very quickly on this today. So on the left we have the iPad mini 7, on the right we have the iPad mini 6. The colours are the same, but I think they're a different shade. The storage has changed, so it now starts at 128 gigabytes. Before, it started at 64 gig. This is the 64 gig version, which isn't enough space for anyone these days. So they've got rid of the 64 gig one. We now have 128, 256, and 512. The dimensions are the same. I'm not going to go through all this stuff, guys, because you've got better things to be doing probably. Touch ID. It's still Touch ID. There's no Face ID. I was hoping for Face ID. We don't have that. I think I can confirm that we have a new chip. We have Apple Intelligence on the way because of that new chip. We have tweaked colours. We have different storage options. I do get the impression, though, that this is Apple continually lining up everything for Apple Intelligence. But it's over to you now, guys. Get involved in the comments. Are you going to buy an iPad mini 7? What do you like about it? What don't you like about it? What do you wish Apple had done with the iPad mini 7? Let me know down below. And make sure you hit that subscribe button not to miss my full review.